Did you guys hear it say it was recording? Oh, okay. I didn't hear it. All right. Okay, so let's get started, you guys. My name is Haley. I am joining you from Elko, Nevada. We are high desert. We're about 7 hours north of Las Vegas. I was just having this conversation with my husband that every time I say, "Oh, I'm from Nevada," people always assume that it's Vegas and it must be hot. We've got snow on the ground and it gets cold. We get all four seasons. It's pretty awesome. But tonight, you guys, I'm really excited to share with you guys flipping the script. Now, what does that mean? It's like, okay, when we have all these things that are going on around us, so it's a reset. And I love this quote: every day may not be good, but there's something good in every day. So tonight we're going to be talking about how we can use our mindset, some breath work, and essential oils that can support you in creating something different. We are living in a time when it is just so full of chaos. The news, people are sick around us. There's all kinds of things that are going on. And so I love that, just that awareness of there's a lot. Whoops, let me go back a screen. And so I don't know about you, but it's like, you know, it's exhausting. It's exhausting listening to all the stuff, being in all the chaos, being around people who are constantly sick, bombarded with illness. I'm happy to say, as I'm seeing people, on social media and stuff posting that everybody's sick, it's like, I gotta tell you that nobody that is around me is sick. And I think it's a lot due to because we use really good practices and we've got stuff that will support us. But I want you to kind of go outside of the illness and or the virus part, and I want you to think about the mental toxicity that we're exposed to all the time. Social media, I mean, it can be super overwhelming. There's a lot of it. And I know that for each one of us, the way that we feel it or the way we navigate through it is different. So, what are some of the things, or what is the cause that happens to our bodies when we're exposed to a lot of different stresses? And we've talked about toxic stress, mental stress, things in our household. You might find that you're carrying a lot of tension in your shoulders, your neck. A lower back issue is something that comes up a lot for people. Maybe you have a hard time concentrating on something because your mind is so scattered on all the other things. We're living, most of us, not everyone, but a lot of people are living in a place of fight or flight. It's like, do you ever feel like, gosh, I just got to get up and go? And if something happens and it's like, I got to like act quickly and back. Well, some of those things that are happening, you guys, are causing not only dis-ease in our bodies, but what about our stomachs and our digestive system? If you've done any work as far as emotional benefits for some of our oils and some of our products that help our digestive system, you look at what they are made of, and it's helping us to digest slowly some of the things that we might be facing. Now, this can come from emotions too, because how many of you guys have ever felt like I've bit off more than I can chew? Or there's just more on my plate than I can handle? Or they're expecting more than I can actually do? And so those things actually start, collecting in our body, if especially if we're not in a place where our motto should be feel to heal. And I'll explain that a little bit more, but it's like we're carrying around, this big baggage of stuff with us. I want you to envision like water running through your pipes in your house. If we don't have water that's running through our pipes on a regular basis, things could get clogged up. And once things get clogged up, then it's an emergency. And so we want to be able to say, okay, are we, and drinking enough water? Because a lot of the stuff that we're consuming, whether it's, through our diet or whether it's through social media or, from work or stuff, if we don't do something to flush it out of our system, it will hold in our organs. And most of you guys are probably familiar, if you've been hanging out with us for very long, that all dis-ease starts with emotions and being able to clear it out. So these are some of the things that are happening to us that people are experiencing. So the next step is, okay, can we just agree that it's okay to have a bad day? That every day doesn't have to be perfect. And it's okay if we don't have everything figured out. It's also okay to not be the strongest and the person who's always showing up. And it's also okay for us to say, you know what, I just need to stop for a minute and take a break. It's one of those things that is very empowering as we set up, different boundaries or different things where we can say, I get to say no. And one of the things that I teach is when we take and we'll say no to something. So say somebody keeps asking you to do something because you're going to do it and you're really good at it and it kind of hits the ego a little bit, but you're wearing yourself thin. You're overwhelmed. You've got too much on your plate. And if we get to say no to some of those things, they're going to figure it out. They're going to find somebody to do it. And that gives us the opportunity to stop and rest, gather up ourselves, and so that we can then show up differently when we are ready to show up for something. Um, Back to that water. I love Bobby's drinking a big glass of water right now. It's like keeping those fluids and that liquid coming in, right? There's more to it than just when you'll hear people say, "Oh yeah, you should, for weight or whatever, drink more water." It's like, no, there's a lot of emotional benefits and physical benefits as well. Okay, this is one of my favorite quotes. The greatest weapon against stress is our ability to choose one thought over another. How many of you guys have ever found yourself in a place where your thoughts are like just all over? And even if you have a good situation or something that should be really exciting and fun, the more you think about it, the more you start to gather information, the more it feels heavy or it feels a little overwhelming. Well, we can also choose that, you know what? That's it. That's enough. Like I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. I want to be able to, be happy and not overwhelm myself to where I feel like I'm in a fight or flight all the time. Um, the intention that we have to tune into what we need when we need it. I want you to consider like a radio station. I'm old, so we had TVs where we had pliers that were hooked up to them and we would adjust the channel and adjust the little rabbit ears, right, Leslie? It's like all of these different things that are going on. And with our emotions and the things that we're showing up with, we get to do that same thing with our thoughts. How are we adjusting our thoughts? What are we paying more attention to things that, or hanging out in spaces where people may be more negative? Or, I mean, you guys all can probably relate to the person in your life or the group who it's always, well, it's awful. Like, what are we going to do about it? And then for me, it's like, well, what are we going to do? Like, this is all figure outable. We get to decide. So part of this mindset journey and deciding, you guys, is just having the right tools. So now we're going to walk into this little part. I just throw this in here because if you're new to essential oils or if you haven't studied with us long, one drop of our doTERRA essential oil can impact over 40 million trillion molecules in your body. So when you're taking one drop of oil and you're putting it into your hands and then you're breathing it in, it's magical what happens because the breath goes, that scent goes up into your nose, goes to your brain, it comes back and it tells our body how we're going to react and how we should feel. So if we've got, and I'm going to just go back to the radio station of this is how we're rewiring the message. Okay. So if you're experiencing or feeling a certain way and you want something different, this is a great reset. It's a quick reset. It's just being able to go, okay, wait, that made me really sad. Like, and sometimes I'll teach about music and the vibration and how you can be listening to a song on the radio and it can make you so sad just by hearing the song. And you can turn the station and have a song that's so upbeat and it just makes you want to just stand up and dance and sing. And so the essential oils work in exactly the same way. So as you learn more about them, you can actually choose essential oils to support whatever situation is going on around you. And it's disrupting the message and giving you something new to think about. I love this. And you guys will experience that in just a minute. I want to stop and talk just a second about the power of aroma. When we want to, so emotions and aroma is just, they're like tied together. And sometimes, just talking about a lemon, if I said, okay, guys, I want you to envision yourself holding a lemon in your hands. Now take your fingernails and put them in the lemon rind and peel it back. Your mouth probably salivates a little, like my mouth starts to water. And that's just, again, just confirming that we get trained with scents. So there's been a few people that I know, and I do the same. Like I have certain essential oils that I use every single night when I'm trying to go to sleep. And part of this, and part of what I love about it is I can take that essential oil, and if I've used it for very long, as soon as I smell it, my mind takes me to a place where it's time for bed. And I have a routine where I'll start, shutting down the lights, and I'll turn off the electronics, and, maybe I'm taking a nice hot soak. Okay. So the power of aroma can change everything in a very, very quick amount of time. And why it works is because each one of those essential oils has a purpose. Every plant has a purpose. Every flower has a purpose. Every herb has a purpose. And so this is ways that it can support us. Now, here I'm going to say, okay, 2 minutes can change everything. Now, you can do this any time of the day and pretty much any place. So I want you to grab your essential oil that you have nearby. I'm going to have you roll it into the palm of your hands or drop it into the palm of your hands. And now the first movement is we're just going to rub our hands together like this. Now, there's actually something very calming that happens just from this movement. And when we're using our breath and we're breathing in, it is the fastest way to reset an emotion. So this is why, it's so important to, if you're upset with something, or you wake up and you're kind of panicked, or you've got a lot on your plate, is to stop wherever you are and just take a few deep breaths. But with this, we're going to practice it with essential oils. And ideally, you would want to do this a couple times a day if you need to. If you could start your day this way. But what I want you to do is take your hands now, bring them up to your nose, and I want you to take a deep inhale. Just really breathe it in. And then as much as you inhaled, I want you to take the time and just really exhale. And I want you to do that at least 2 or 3 times. Like just keep breathing it in. And while you're breathing it in, I want you to think of how you are completely supported. Now, if you feel like you're okay, go ahead and close your eyes for this part. And as you're inhaling, I want you to like feel your bottom sitting, whether you're on a chair or a couch or something, but I want you to really feel the connection between your body and the object that you're being held by. And I want you just to think of, I am fully supported. I can trust the things that are going on around me. I want you to feel your shoulders kind of drop as you inhale and exhale. Maybe take your ear and kind of lean your head over to your shoulder where your ear is going to touch it. Now come up straight again. Bring your hands in and take another inhale. And then I want you to tilt your other ear to your other shoulder. Come straight up to center again. Now I want you to just kind of roll your shoulders back 2 or 3 times, and then I want you to physically feel them go down. I want you to place one hand over your heart and one hand over your lower belly. And I want you to just take another couple of deep breaths. And some of the things I want you to think about right now is, what do I need? What do I want to experience more of in my life in this moment? What needs to shift? What can I release and let go of that might be holding me back? Bring both of your hands back up and cup them and take another deep breath. And I want you to say, everything works out for me. Inhale and exhale. Now, you guys, I'm not really sure what oil you chose, but I just, being able to take in any time or any place and just resetting and doing some slow, deep breaths. And when you partner that essential oil with it, it could transform you into a completely different place, especially if you know the emotional benefit of it or what it's going to do and how it's going to show up for you. Now, I picked rose. I don't know if you guys want to put in the chat what essential oil that you chose. Today, I've done a lot of work with people with different emotions and different life situations. And sometimes when I'm even, helping and working with others, I find it affects me. And so, gosh, having that rose, which is divine love, and I love geranium. I want you guys to bring your attention to the center of the show or slide, the oil of trust and love. This oil helps to restore confidence in the innate goodness of others in the world, and it helps facilitate feelings of trust. So, how many of you guys have ever felt like you've been taken advantage of, or that you couldn't trust somebody because they've said something and they didn't do it, or they didn't follow through, or maybe, a situation didn't work out the way you thought it should be? I love this essential oil. I've got to tell you, from when I first started with oils, this was the one that I was most offended by. Like I could smell it and I was like, that is the worst thing I've ever smelled in my life. Like, get it away from me. I don't want it anywhere near me. And I had a lot of life that had happened, and I was just that person who I didn't have to put my hand out in front of me and have it held up like a stop sign. People could feel that energy when they walked into my space because I was so protected. So what I've been learning and why I feel like this is so important is whether practice meditation or yoga or gratitude, they're all so important for us, is being able to release and let go of those things. Now, on the right-hand side of the screen, I've got some things that are so important for us, like being able to set an intention. Enough is enough. Like that is such a good one for me. It's like enough is enough. Like I'm ready for something better. And, being able to uh, you know, have, whether it's meditation or writing it down or breath work. How many of you guys are familiar with breath work? So there's different types of breath work. There's breath work where we get to be very, very supported, where it's deep and it's slow and, box breathing, where you breathe in for 4, hold for 4, breathe out for 4. And you can practice. There was a time when I was doing like 10 seconds in, hold for 10, and 10 seconds out. And the more that we're breathing, because when we stop those breaths, it literally keeps us from functioning right. Our brain stops. Like our brain doesn't know how to function if it's not got the oxygen going to it. So also we have the vagus nerve reset. So I want to kind of hit that for just a second. Many of you guys have taken our castor oil challenge, where we learned how to use castor oil with um, essential oils to be able to reset our vagus nerve. And it happens right in your belly button. And so if you are at work or somewhere and you don't want to have the oils on your hands, simply put that essential oil into your belly button, and then you can practice the deep breathing. If you feel like you've chewed off more than you can handle in life, I would recommend looking into Digest-Zen, right? When you look at the emotional benefit and all of the oils that are supporting it, that would be a great one to stick in your belly. Now, If this still point recipe that is up right now, it's a recipe for a 10 ml roller. You would put the essential oils in it and then just top it off with fractionated coconut oil, or you could also use castor oil if you want. And this is where you would go from the jawline here and you can just go across here. You can also go down the base of your skull. So from that little bump on your head down to the top of your shoulders is a really great place to put it. And another, I mean, you can roll it into your hands and just take some deep breaths. All of this is a practice. And so anytime you find yourself in a situation or a place where you're going, okay, I just can't handle it. Like as in, like maybe it's a conversation that you're about to have, or maybe it's one that you've just had. These are all really simple, easy things that you can do that happen and change in less than 2 minutes. Okay, this is something I absolutely love too. So, Ho'oponopono is a practice that comes from the Hawaiian culture. It is meant for being able to set things right. So when we hold on to a bunch of different things, we know that those emotions go into our organs, especially our kidney, liver, gallbladder. And over time, it can turn into not only dis-ease, but worse than that, life-altering diseases. And so this practice was created by the Hawaiian culture. It's simply, I am sorry, please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And so when you're practicing this thing, so any situation that comes up, that person was really mean to me, or maybe it's the way that I responded to someone. And have you ever come back at somebody, kind of snapped at them and then later gone, oh, that was like, I should not have done it. I handled it wrong. This would be a great time to bring this out. And then you can also journal around it. So when you're journaling around this, so say you've got a situation, it's all yours, right? And you're going to say, okay, this happened. Some of the questions that you can write along with this is, what am I feeling right now? Like, what is the stickiness coming from? Or why is that so sticky to me? Why is it causing me to have anxiety? Another one is, um, am I feeling what I'm feeling? Like, am I allowing myself to feel what I feel? And I think at the very beginning, I mentioned being able to feel to heal. Well, you know what? How many times have we had a situation happen? We shove it down somewhere and we go, you know what? I'm going to pretend it didn't happen, or I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to go on. And then it happens again and it happens again. So these things, you guys, are so important for us to learn a practice on how can we really get rid of it and let it go. I've practiced this hopo'ono hupu. I'm sure I say it wrong. Right, Tammy? But it's like the main practice is, and I would say it over and over and over. And sometimes this is for myself. How many of us are our worst critics? Right? No one needs to beat me up because I'm over here beating myself up. So, okay, now on the left-hand side of the screen, just because the damage once existed doesn't mean it still has to have power over us. We have the option to either grow from it or be consumed by it. It's keeping us stuck, and the decision of how we're going to go forward is 100% in our hands. We get to decide. Now, some of you guys are familiar with Symphony of the Cells. Not next week, but the following week, we're going to be talking about Symphony of Cells and Aroma Touch and how they can help us with everything from romance to forgiveness and all the things. But these are the essential oils that are in the protocol. And I want to just also bring up forgive. Forgive is not only a practice that we get to do, but we also have an essential oil that was created around this so that we could be able to let go and release of things. It does list here the oils that are in it. Feel free to take screenshots of any of this that you want to, because I love knowing what is in there and why, and how is it going to best support me. Emotions, you guys, equal disease. So we really get to be in the practice of, I want to have gosh, you guys, I just got my first grandbaby. I want to be as happy and healthy for her as I can possibly be. And so if I continued to hold on to life and all that it deals us, then I wouldn't be happy and healthy. So it just becomes a really great practice for us. Okay, now I'm going to go into, all right, so here is,
Haley,
oh,
oh, one person was asking a question. Elizabeth wondered if the vagus nerve is damaged. Um, is that and have an effect when we put oils in the belly button? Is that your question, Elizabeth?
so Bobby, we're going to come to questions at the end of class.
Okay,
And so
okay.
just hold on to it and we'll answer that at the end of class so that we can keep the class going. But that's a great question and we will 100% address that. So you guys, this is doTERRA's Forgive blend. It has bergamot, juniper berry, myrrh, arborvitae, and thyme. This blend of tree oils is really great in grounding us and keeping us supported. So just like when we went through that really quick meditation, it's like part of it is like, okay, do you feel your bottoms on the seat in the chair? Do you feel safe and secure? And that's what a tree oil offers us is that grounding. So you think of the roots that are going way down into the earth. How many of you guys have seen a tree that's half tipped over, but yet it's still there? Or growing out of the side of a mountain? Well, the only way that it can do that with all of the harsh things that are happening between weather and, cars driving by and kids jumping on it is to be able to have really strong roots. So I love that the tree oils bring us roots that help to keep us safe. So there's an oncology hospital that doTERRA had put a bunch of the essential oil or the emotion essential oils in, and they found that Forgive was the number one essential oil that people were drawn to and used and liked. Now, some people may smell it and go, "Oh my gosh, like that is awful." And I would say, what are you resisting? And if we look at all the things that are in it and how it's going to support us, what are you resisting? Today I was working with a gal and she's been through a life, and she tested for this one over and over and over for her throat, believe it or not. And when we were talking about this, it's like, is it that you forgive yourself? Is it you forgive a situation? Is it that to be able to forgive somebody else who might have done something to hurt you? I mean, all of these things are forgiveness is around. And so when she smelled it, she was like, "Oh my gosh, like, can I wear it like perfume?" And I'm like, "Yes, absolutely, you can." The other thing that I was talking to her about is, when we're holding emotions in our chest, right? That's where our heart is, that's where our lungs are. So if you know somebody who has um, chronic breathing issues, or just can't get over, something that's, here or throat or wherever, always consider this essential oil as a hack. It's 100% great for respiratory stuffiness. And I love this one. So and like I said, at the end of class, we're going to come up and have some Q&A. So here's another essential oil that I absolutely love. It is in the Forgive blend. It is bergamot. Bergamot is a citrus oil. It is a very strange looking citrus oil. It looks like a orangish grapefruit, and it's kind of a greenish color. It has lots of bumps on the outside of it, and it is one that is highly photosensitive. So if you're putting it in a drink or, underneath your clothes or something, you're fine with it, but you don't want to put it like on your cheeks or like in a lip balm and then wear it outside because it could cause sun sensitivity. I love this. Bergamot release feelings of despair, self-judgment, and low self-esteem. Bergamot invites us to see life with more optimism. Bergamot has a cleansing effect on stagnant feelings and limiting beliefs. Bergamot is wonderful for those who feel down or hopeless. It awakens the soul to hope and offers courage. Now, as we're talking about, having so much life happening around us, from the social media to the news to, what's happening in our communities and all the, uh, just all of it. And it weighs heavy on us. And in some cases, like I'm just going to throw out there, we might lose hope. Like we may think, gosh, Like it's not very happy out there. You know, how do I get to show up and how am I supposed to be happy? You guys, I love this essential oil. You can take it internal, topical, or aromatic. I love it. There was a doctor who did her doctorate on people who were suffering from PTSD, specifically service people, um, firemen, police officers, army. And they found that when they diffused this at night, it was helping them to be able to let go of some of the things that they had gone through. It was very, very effective. This one and cardamom and turmeric, and not all together, but one at a time. And you can see if you have somebody who's, just feeling down or gosh, I just feel, beat up. So back to the vagus nerve, located, the receptors are at your belly button. You got your solar plexus. This is where your light of your soul is, right? Is in the center of your core. So this would be a great one to put in your belly button again, or rub on your belly. I love adding it to our unscented lotion. And when I get out of the shower, and especially if I like I'm feeling a little down, or maybe I've got to present in front of people and my self-confidence is down, bergamot is definitely a first-hand reach for things like that. Nothing binds you except your thoughts. Nothing limits you except for your fear. And nothing controls you except for your beliefs. So, you guys, as we go through this journey of learning how to go through life, right, and juggle it and making the best of all the situations. Long ago, I went from why is this happening to me to why is this happening for me? And once I changed the verbiage of this, everything happens for me, then it was easier for me to figure how and what, like, how do I get to show up differently? What you think about, you guys, is so important. Um, okay. Before we go here, I want to also share a story of a friend of mine who has little kids, and they use what's called breath or breathe like a bear cards. So they're a little deck of cards, not necessarily just for kids. Anybody can use them, but you pull out a card and then you do what it says, and it helps you with, if you're not sleeping very good, or maybe you're super cranky, or you feel like, picked on all the time. And this one they've started doing every single night, and I think it'd be a great practice for all of us, is to what tell me one thing that you are worried about. And so as the kids are, saying to their mom, this is one thing I'm worried about, they're answering the question, which tells them they've thought about it, they've verbalized it, and then what they do is they take whatever it is, like say it's um, okay, so I'm worried about my test tomorrow at school. So then you take that, you can write it on a piece of paper, you put it into a box, and then basically you're giving it away. Any of you guys know about a prayer box? You're giving it to God. So their kids are practicing with this breathe like a bear, that you're putting it in and the fairies come and take it away. And it's gone. You guys, and that's very, very simple practice could change so many things. And I want you to think about or consider when I'm going to bed at night, and what are the things that are keeping me awake? Okay, what are you worried about, Bobby? Let's write it down. Tell me. Let's write it down. Let's put it in the box and let it go. And hopefully, I mean, we do journaling. When it comes to sleep, there's so many things that we can practice. Is I have a junk journal that I write all this junk down, and it's next to my bed. And that I have an agreement with myself that when I write it down, I let it go, even if it's only until tomorrow, but I don't have to sit and think about it because it'll be handled. And I love that practice. Okay. Now, I'm going to introduce to you guys as we're going through this. Remember, we're going to come for questions and testimonials in just a minute. But February offers some very, very exciting things for us. So with our 125 PV order or a foundational wellness kit, you get a free 5 ml bottle of MetaPower. You guys, MetaPower is a blend of essential oils grapefruit, lemon, peppermint, cinnamon, and ginger, which all have different benefits in helping to support our metabolism. I love that, peppermint helps us to feel satisfied. Ginger is really great for calming our stomach and our digestive system. I have people who will put a couple drops in a glass of water first thing in the morning. That's how they start their day. They'll put it, on their bodies, or they'll take it in their water bottle on a walk, and it's very invigorating. We also have a 200 PV promotion, which means anytime you place a 200 PV order any time of the month, you can qualify to get a bottle of geranium, which is a 15 ml. There's 250 drops in there. And you also qualify to get a castor oil wrap. You guys, this was one of the hottest items when we went to convention. I didn't get one, or actually I did get one, but they sold out within minutes. This is really great practice. We'll be teaching you more about how to do this if you're a part of our Good Vibes community, or if you go to our YouTube channel, you can find an entire class that's been done on castor oil and its benefits. So there's all kinds of really great things, you guys. I want you to remember that whether you're watching this with us here live, or you're watching the replay, or you're sharing it out with a friend, let us help you get the most benefits for your account, your membership. We want to make sure that you're taking advantage of getting those free products and knowing what to do with them once you get them. I can't go away tonight without talking about our foundational wellness. This is something that has been life-changing for everyone in my family. When I first got started with doTERRA, I was having some special supplements made for us, and I still was in a bucket full of mess. And so I am so grateful for doTERRA for coming up with this opportunity for us to have real foods, real products that's been tested to make sure there's no, chemicals and artificial flavors and all that kind of stuff in there. It's been such an amazing thing for us. And we do a deep dive on just these products. Please let the person who invited you know if you'd like more information. And then you guys just talking about ordering and how to, again, maximize your membership is when you're ordering using rewards, which is the only way that I would order, because you can earn free points for free product. Every time you see or hear us say, oh, there's a point, it's like $1. It's like putting a doTERRA dollar into your bank account. My journey has gone from it took me about a year, but over that year, I took an area of my house. I got rid of all of the stuff that was toxic chemicals and cleaners and, dryer sheets and all this kind of stuff. And I've replaced them with things that I can create and make on my own. We have a really great recipe book that has over, like, gosh, I think there's closer to like 400 recipes in there that have everything from how to make your own laundry stuff to everything. Everything is in there. This picture right here explains the free products that you can get, and how you can earn up to 30% off on your orders, just by, shopping at your own store, basically. Okay. And then also, we have some really great opportunities. The thing I hear very most when I talk to people about doTERRA is, I don't want to do it like you do it. And I'm just going to be a little snarky right now and say, well, you don't get my check then. Because I, have taken, from just sharing casually, which is a really great thing, to being able to replace my husband's income with doTERRA. I do this full time, but what I have found is when people say, I don't want to be salesy, it's like me either. Like, I just want to show up and give people solutions on what to do with what they have, or something that's going to be safe for them, that's going to give them a benefit instead of some kind of side effect. Every one of you guys, once you get an account, have the ability to take on the left-hand side at the top. You'll see when you log into your office, this little thing that says refer a friend for a free product. You copy that, you send it to a friend, they open it up, they buy something, you get paid. It's super cool. Everybody can do it at whatever level they want. What we don't want is people going to doterra.com, or heaven forbid anybody go to someplace like Amazon, which is third party, that could be harmful, actually. So we want to make sure we're taking care of our customers. Okay, thank you for joining, you guys. It's always such a fun time to be able to gather with you guys to bring new information or different ways to use your essential oils. Or maybe you've got them and you've had them for a long time. Maybe there was just one thing tonight that you said, "Oh, hey, that actually is something that I could do. Maybe I'll put my worries in a box and let the fairies take it away." It's really awesome. Next week, we're having a passion party. This is going to be romance. And passion for life too. It's not just about bedroom, but there'll be a little bit of that in there. And it's one of our most highly attended classes that we teach. You guys can stay connected. Take a screenshot here by texting class reminders to 534-429-5392. You'll get an instant text with the link. So you'll have exactly what you need when you need it. And then we also have our recordings of this on our YouTube channel at Hayley B Essentials 4277. I want to take this time to give a huge big thank you for everyone who joined us. If you join us live, you get to stay with us, and we're going to have testimonials and questions. So that's a benefit of coming to us or joining us live. For those of you guys who can't, we'll see you next time.